So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight. 2 months ago, I really did not think this was going to happen, and here we are, and you guys came, so I'm so thankful that you came. I hope you enjoy the show and you learn from it. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Mattice. Since freshman year, you've been encouraging me. I was so motivated to ace that video project, and since then you've been encouraging, or since the beginning of freshman year, and especially this year, I wouldn't have tried to do some of the things that I've done, and I'm really thankful that you've been there for me. Mrs. McAndrews, you came up with the name Ned, and she actually did some videos a few years ago before we were here of people doing little Ned talks on their own, and it just recorded up on the YouTube channel, which is a really cool idea, and it really inspired me to make this an event, me and Ambreen. And Mr. O'Connor has helped me tremendously with, oh, thank you, Mrs. McAndrews, because she also came out. Sorry, a few more. Mr. O'Connor, this would not have been possible without you. He helped me with the technology, with advertising, with organizing all the speakers, with a lot of things, and thank you very much, Mr. O'Connor. I would also like to thank my partner, Ambreen. I was about to give up on this idea, and then Ambreen said, oh, that's a great idea, we should try to spearhead this, and she's helped me with so much, and it wouldn't have been possible without Ambreen, so thank you, Ambreen. Yeah, last thank you to the speakers. You guys have put a lot of effort into this, and obviously I would not be able to have a NED program without you guys, so thank you for wanting to inspire others, and your talks are going to be great, so don't be nervous. So I'd like to start this talk by insulting you all. That's not something that usually you hear at the beginning of a talk, but it's something that needs to be changed, and my insult to you is, don't hate me, because it's on myself too. You are all ignorant, and I must say that this applies to me just as much as it does to you guys. We are ignorant. You are all ignorant. Your parents are ignorant. Your teachers are ignorant. I'm sorry, teachers. I am ignorant for sure. We are all ignorant, and this is, I would say, the biggest flaw of mankind, that we are ignorant and we do not realize it. I was fortunate enough in November to go on a trip to Washington, D.C. for a conference, and there I heard from a survivor of the Rwandan genocide. And before that, I had heard of it once in global history class, and it was a movie called Hotel Rwanda. It was a great movie, but that was all I knew. That was the extent of my knowledge on this several-year-long event in which so many people were killed by their neighbors. And so this woman happened to be one of the victims, or she survived, but she experienced the pain of the Rwandan genocide, and she lost her husband to this event, and her husband did not live to see her baby, who was born about a month after she escaped. So, and that was when I realized I was ignorant. That was the first time I realized how ignorant I was. I did not know until I heard from someone who experienced something what it was really like. I knew it was a bad thing, but I really did not know the extent and the pain that so many people went through. It was millions of people. I don't know how many people were killed, but I think it was hundreds of thousands of people were killed. So I would like to, Apple, sorry, it's a code word for next slide. So an example of how ignorant we are to things going on in the world right now. I gave to my honors United States history class a 5-question quiz about things going on that have been all over the news, and this one is one of the examples. In the first weeks of 2018, how many school shootings occurred in the United States? Obviously very relevant at this time, something we should be informed about if we want to fight this cause. The answer is 18. And I don't remember how many people got this question wrong, but there were 4 more questions similar to this question, and the average, out of 5 questions, the average score was 2. And this is in an honors class. So the average score was 2. There were several zeros and no 5s. So that just goes to show we should be more aware, because these things are really going on right now. Can we go on to the next slide? These were the other 4 questions. So one of them talks about sanctioned killing of drug addicts in what country? So people are being killed for being drug addicts by the government, and this one was one of the most incorrectly answered. It's Philippines. The next one is, what is the name of the SpaceX rocket that was sent towards Mars in February 2018? Simple. Something I actually didn't know. I had to look this up for sure. It's the Falcon Heavy. And then the next one was the current president of Syria, who has in recent years used chemical weapons on his own people. This is true. People are being killed by their own government leader because they don't agree with him. Several people got this one wrong because I used different names of leaders in that general area. And this guy is really a bad man, and we should know about him. We should really learn. His name is Assad, so we should look into these kind of issues. And the last one is, how much of the US budget is being used for foreign aid? And the answer is less than 1%, which most people thought it was 27%. Actually, the average American thinks it's 27% and wants to lower it to 13%. The amount of money we are spending on foreign countries, we want to lower it from 27% to 13%. But little do we realize it's already less than 1% of the budget that we're spending on foreign aid. So my point is, there's so much that we do not know, myself included. And we have to, the first step to making the world a better place is realizing that we have the capability to do it, and that we also are unaware, and that is what's holding us back from making the world a better place. So we have to be aware that we are ignorant and try to fix it. We have to take steps to teach ourselves and then others so we can change the world, because it may be hard for one person to make an impact on the entire world, but if we educate others, if we make a team, we can create a movement, and we can change the world. Our generation is the one that's going to do it. We can end world hunger. There's so much we can do. There's so much we can do if we work together, but the first step is learning about what's going on and ending ignorance, bringing an end to our biggest flaw. So thank you all. Enjoy the next speakers. Realize that they found something that they are passionate about, and they chose one of the many problems or many ideas in the world, and they spearheaded it, and they want to teach you because they think it's worth inspiring you. They think it's worth spending an hour of their time to teach you. So please enjoy their talks, listen carefully, and maybe you will be inspired to act or do a talk of your own. Thank you.